From November to February, Chelsea scored 6 goals in the Premier League. They've spent €600 million improving the team and haven't even won half of their games played. With only 11 games left for Chelsea's season, it's just a question of exactly how much time does Potter have left. Potter's first match in charge, he drew 1-1 against RB Salzburg.
It's time to go!
Okay, I'm being a bit unfair as that was just his first game. The next game was in October and it was a busy month for Potter as he had 9 games to play, and of these 9 he won 6, drawing 2 and losing only 1. However, this decent start was to be forgotten as the following months were guaranteed to depress Chelsea fans worldwide. It all started with a 1-0 loss to a team that can't play European football to save their lives. A week later, Chelsea had changed from a 4-2-3-1 to a 3-4-2-1 and then proceeded to lose 1-0 to Newcastle. For the next game, Chelsea switched back to the 4-2-3-1 and still lost 1-0 against Aston Villa. Chelsea managed their first goal in 4 games as a 2-0 victory against Bournemouth gave them some hope. But this also didn't last very long as Chelsea started the new year with a 1-1 draw against Nottingham Forest. In these 2 games, Chelsea switched to a 4-3-3 and this seemed to be their best formation so far as it at least got Chelsea some goals. So what was Potter's next decision? That's right, he switched back to a 4-2-3-1 and lost 1-0 to City. After that, Chelsea switched their formations to a 3-5-2 in which they lost 2-1 to Fulham. Next was Palace, who Potter had already beaten in his second game in charge, so it wasn't a surprise when Chelsea won 1-0 again. He won and broke the curse of the 4-2-3-1 this game, which he decided to then not use against Liverpool, where he instead played a 3-4-2-1. These changes prove just how much of a tactical mastermind Graham Potter is, as it led to one of the most entertaining games of the season. During the January transfer window, Chelsea spent around 300 million trying to improve their squad. They began by buying David Fofana, who so far has played for only 60 minutes. Next was Badiashile, who Chelsea bought for 38 million. Then it was one of the most overpriced signings of the season so far, Mudryk, who joined for 70 million, so far getting 0 goals and 1 assist in his 6 league games. Next was Madueke for 35 million, who's had as much impact for Chelsea as I have. Chelsea bought Malo Gusto for 30 million, who came from Lyon only to be loaned back out to Lyon the very next day. The same case for Andre Santos, an 18-year-old who plays for a Brazilian side. I'm not going to try pronounce that name. The final signing in January was Enzo Fernandez, who broke the record for the most expensive transfer English football has ever seen, as he cost Chelsea €121 million, rounding up Chelsea's transfer costs to €329 million. They also loaned João Felix for €11 million. With these signings in mind, let's look at how Chelsea's February went. Fulham was their next opponents again, who Chelsea drew 0-0 against. This game included a start from Mudryk, Enzo Fernandez and Badiashile, and later substitutions where Madueke and David Fofana also got to debut. Chelsea played their signature 4-2-3-1 and drew 1-1 with West Ham, who were battling relegation. Chelsea once again played the 4-2-3-1 and lost 1-0 to Southampton, who are bottom of the table. It got worse as Chelsea played their 4-2-3-1 again, ending their month with a 2-0 loss to Spurs, meaning Chelsea had scored only 1 goal during February. This meant that since November, Chelsea have scored 6 goals in 13 games. By this point, everyone, including you, had forgotten about the amazing start Potter had, as Chelsea now sit at 10th in the Premier League with 11 games to go. It's not all bad news as Chelsea have managed to qualify for the Champions League quarterfinals, which are against Real Madrid, the 3rd year in a row where these two face each other. Although Chelsea recently beat Leeds using the 4-2-3-1 and Leicester using a 3-4-3, the hate towards Potter hasn't slowed down in the slightest. In their latest game, Chelsea used the 3-4-3, in which they drew 2-2 against Everton, another team very threatened by relegation this season. Honestly, there are a lot of people to blame for Chelsea being at 10th in the league, but Graham Potter is at the centre of it all. One of the main reasons why I think Potter should go is because almost after every single game, Chelsea have had a different lineup. There is no consistency in the formation used, there is no consistency in the players played, and there is no consistency in the results. I'm not saying a team has to consistently use only one formation, but if we look at the stats, the teams who have a solid formation are the ones that are doing the best. United have used the 4-2-3-1 for 24 of their 26 games this season, and they now sit at third. Tottenham have used the 3-4-2-1 for 23 of their 28 games this season, and they sit at fourth. Arsenal used the 4-2-3-1 for their first 10 games this season, but have then played their next 18 using a 4-3-3, and they sit at first. These teams have formations that are effective and give out consistent results, which gives fans confidence in the manager. The confidence Chelsea fans have in Potter is non-existent. There are many more factors that have played a big part in Chelsea's terrible season, like the injuries that have left key players out, the disagreements between Tuchel and his board, the excessive spending on unnecessary players. But for me personally, Potter not knowing how to line up his squad is by far the biggest concern. That's what I think of Potter's season so far. Let's hear what you guys think. Does he need more time to connect with his players and hopefully find a formation fit for his team, or is it time to go? Tell me your opinions in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.